Good morning, colleagues, and welcome to Right Club. Wonderful, Susan, can you hear me? Is the sound all right?
I can hear you fine.
Fantastic. Good morning, colleagues. Thank you for waiting 1 minute for us. It was a very, very exciting digital office hours. And look, we can start now because the centre of the world, Damien, has joined us. Hello, famous Damien. How famous are you, Damien?
Look, I'm still yet to see it. But, doing well.
Oh, what can I say? The thing is, because I follow you on LinkedIn, Damien, you're like, I'm going, oh, geez, doing well. Geez, doing well. Every day I go, oh, wow, Damien's successful. So you are my model for success. It's unbelievable. And you're legendary, darling. Fantastic. Queen Ruth is back. Oh, we've got a fantastic team in. Wonderful Susan L is with us too. Susan, how are you from New York City? How are you, Susan?
I am fine. It's finally cold. It's finally winter, so it's nice here.
I will live aspirationally through you as I always do. Ruth and I, as you can see, are just sort of panting like a bull mastiff. Managing Darwin, we're doing all right, but great to see you, Susan, and beautiful Susan, my other Susan M from Jamaica. Lovely to see you. So, colleagues, let's go for this. I'm starting a new piece today. I'm inspired by Damien. I lived through Damien. Give me 29 fantastic minutes, colleagues. See you on the other side. Let's do this. Let's change the world. Come on, Ruth. Come on. Come on. Last minute, colleagues. And colleagues, we are done. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And look, out of a celebration of the legendary Megan and her work this week, we will start with amazing Megan. So I know Megan's under the pump with some deadlines as well. So Megan, I know this will come as a surprise to us both. What were you writing on during that Write Club?
Shock, horror, you won't believe it. My ethics application.
Yes. So how's that going? This is hard writing, Megan.
Yeah, well, I had actually read one of the questions incorrectly and didn't realize till you gave me the feedback about not sure what's going on here. And it was the sequencing question. I had read that totally wrong. So you tweaked me to have a look and I went, oh my God, how the hell did I miss that word in there? Yeah, so I've just rewritten the whole thing.
Oh, thank the gods. Yeah, no, Megan, it is odd. You know, we were just talking with the wonderful Nora in Digital Office Hours about feedback. And sometimes the feedback I offer Megan, because Megan's a genius, and obviously wonderful Maeve's here as well, and she's a genius, and all my students are geniuses. But when I read Megan's work, I sort of did the sort of Labrador or sort of the beagle head.
Yeah, like what?
And I got confused. And so I didn't know if I just I haven't had a lot of sleep this week, that I was like, I'm confused. Nah. And so I actually just did a note to Megan going, I don't understand this, because it is on me. I didn't understand this. So at least, and I said, I'll stop now because I'm not sure what I'm reading.
Yeah. So thank you. And I've just rewritten as much as I possibly could in that half an hour. So thanks, Tara. Yeah.
And mate, it's hard writing. So well done you. I think ethics applications are some of the hardest writing you'll ever do, because you've got multiple audiences and you sort of don't know those audiences. You sort of put the document into like a glass bottle and throw it into the ocean and hope you're going to find somebody.
And I haven't got time to like have it rejected and come back again and have it rejected and come back again. Like, let's do this, guys.
Yeah. So as I said to you this morning, in some ways, conservatism is best with ethics. So, you know, if we miss the deadline today, Megan, then the universe doesn't end if we go the next meeting, right? So we'll do the best we can. Aidan and I will stay with you, but see how we go.
It's missed. It was yesterday afternoon.
Oh, it's missed. Oh, it's over.
Yeah, I've got a month now. No, I've got 2 months, because they only meet every 2 months.
Oh, mate. Well, just after this meeting, pull out a bit of cardi work and have a bit of cardi.
My liver's recovering from whatever night it was when I went out to dinner after our little thing. Yeah.
Little thing. No, well, Megan, darling, you keep working. As I said, let's get it done though. Let's not wait for the next deadline. Let's get this sorted and in. Well done, you, Megan. And look, oh, you're the best. And look, I saw wonderful Sonia working really hard during that gig. So Sonia, what were you writing? Because you were focused as, mate.
I'm just trying to find and organise all supporting documents and articles based on theories that we created on the streets, and just seeing globally what's out there as well, because there isn't a lot in Australia. So it was just organising articles and trying to find supporting articles for the work that we did. So a lot of organisation. That was probably the focus there as well.
Look, it was, and I'll always say what I've been saying a lot this week, Sonia. Also, when we're looking for articles that sort of verify what we're doing, it is also incredibly valuable to find articles that completely disagree with us. And as I've got older, I've sort of become a bigger fan of, let's find the people that really think I'm rubbish. And not taking that necessarily on as feedback. Sajid, I love you, mate. Not necessarily taking on as feedback, oh, look, I'm rubbish, but actually going, why do they think I'm rubbish? And can that enhance things? Or is that an argument I need to consider? So, you know, with your work, it's so powerful, Son.
Yeah, and I think you know, having an element of having a voice out, certainly people tell me what they think around whether I'm garbage or not. So you could develop a bit of a thick skin, but it's just about trying to, you know, also saying it is valid. The what we term soft skills and the way we assess with conversational based healthcare is valid with vulnerable populations. When we've created a health system for middle and upper class, and we haven't considered vulnerability as the base, the set. Yeah. Anyways, so yes, you're right.
I want to be you, Sonia. Wow, you change our world every week. You just keep going. You are amazing, Sonia. We're with you. And it's wonderful to see our other great friend, the fantastic Anastasia, has joined us once more. How are you, my queen? What were you writing on? It was so lovely to see you.
Hello, lovely to see you after, I think, 2 months. Yeah, was a bit busy with conferences and stuff. Yeah, now I'm getting ready to another conferences. So what I'm doing is I'm writing abstracts. And today I was working on my first draft on my paper. So yeah, I was writing about the not the discussion yet, results, findings. So yeah, so my results are based on vignettes. So that's why I was like polishing. So a bit reducing the quotes because sometimes they're too. So everything is very important. So I'll put everything in that. The article grows bigger and bigger, so I need to reduce that. So I was working on that.
Oh, look, Anastasia, it's so hard. Obviously, I've been reading wonderful Dina's work this week too. When you're managing the vignettes and the testimony, you don't want to reify the profound work and lives of others, but it's got to be produced for an audience. So balancing that is so hard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you for that. Yes, it is. And you will be triumphant over it. Good on you, my darling.
Thank you.
You're the best. The legendary Josh is in the house. Now, you know, we want to be Josh. Now, Josh, what particular revolution are you fighting this week, brother?
Someone else has done the revolution already. A few days back, the Taiwan version of the Directory of Open Access Journals, the TOHA directory, Taiwan Open Access Journals, was started. So I had a huge look through that, just got obsessed. And one of the great nuggets I found in there was a Platinum Open Access Taiwan journal on SOTL that accepts really small pieces on practice. So what I am doing is writing up the work I've done with my Mandarin tutor, where we ended up, because the way it's worked here is once I got to a certain level, there were no more group classes, so it became one-on-one lessons. And we eventually abandoned the learning material and just started reading journal articles because I said, you know, I want to work in academia here. I'm going to bring these in as readings. And I haven't found any of that in the literature. So it's just a quick piece writing up using journal articles for foreign academics coming into the country as a way to provide contextualized learning for them, get them encultured into the system because it's looking at readings on library and information sciences coming out of the country. And then simultaneously from a systematic perspective, trying to alleviate the pressure of, you know, lingualism and English dominance and hegemony. So I spent the half an hour just writing some notes down on kind of the early stuff. It's not my area. So starting in the 90s with some Phillips and stuff on linguicism and linguistic imperialism, etc. for the introduction. But yeah, I'm so excited.
Well, Josh, I don't know about anybody else. I always feel so much brighter after Josh has spoken. You're a legend, Josh. The legendary Gunther Kress, we've talked about Gunther Kress a lot today. Gunther Kress argued that the greater the cultural difference, the greater the chance for miscommunication, Josh. So I don't know if that's useful for you. He wrote that in the book Multimodality, I think 2010, but that just might be a slogan to hang on that could be useful for a section.
And
Brilliant, that
Josh,
is, thank you.
I'm just about to put English speaking hegemony into my limitations section. So thanks for that.
See, Josh, we just follow you around in a stalking way. You are legend.
Yeah.
We're so proud of you, Josh. To our wonderful friend we've missed terribly the last couple of weeks, gorgeous Kirsty's back from her lifestyle location. Now, Kirsty, how are you going? Oh, I'm
I'm
excited.
doing really well. I do apologize. I have been meaning to get in for the last couple of weeks, but I have always had an appointment happen, or I've now been put on in our Australian Centre for Pacific Island Research. So I'm helping them out as well. So that's really exciting. But I have finished up pretty much the last draft of my first paper, and it's just getting a last look over. So I'm excited. And today I was doing the excruciating job of taking an axe to my first draft of my first paper and pretty much cutting it back by half. So that's always really exciting, isn't it? So yeah. And I don't know what's worse, actually having to cut out things that I really like about it, or realizing what a crap writer I am first time round. So,
Kirsty, as you've heard me say thousands of times, every human is a crap first draft writer. All of us are, Angel. The best writers are the best editors, always.
yeah.
All right?
Yeah, so it's all been happening, and I've been thinking about you all while I've been head down, bum up, attempting not to write as discursively and get more argumentative. So we're getting there.
We've missed you. You are legendary. And look, I'm so excited to see you. Sajid's joined us, who is just like the light of my life. So he's joined us clearly from a bunker. He's being handled by the CIA. So Sajid's joined us from a CIA undisclosed location. How are you, mate? And what did you write on? Great to see you, brother. Oh, sound, mate. Oh, it really is the CIA have muted him. Oh, let's see if we can speak, mate. Oh, no. Oh, we haven't got you. Oh, I was so excited to hear this.
Now?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And yeah, I was just writing the limitation of methodology that have been used in previous articles, but there's something interesting. I've got called last week. I gave myself a week break, and I met one of my friends. He had just returned from overseas, and I think I got called with something called I don't know, maybe COVID. Anyway, I just couldn't work on my project, but it wasn't bad because it was like a break, and then I started just looking at the project from another angle, because I'm trying to shift the whole project to shift the focus from just reporting to criticizing the methodologies that have been used by other researchers. So now, then again, I started to revise the whole dissertation, and now I'm almost done with this part, and just need one more week to just send it to my supervisors. And then I can start the second study. And so I know, but too much to do. And that's, anyway, just shifting the focus is it's been very hard for me, because before that I want to just stick to just reporting. But over the time I realized that, okay, the novelty of my work is something else. Maybe I need to just read more and more and more. And then when I've got the comments of my supervisors, and they started just thinking, and I try to think what they say, just thinking out of the box, something like that. I criticized myself, but anyway, this is a part of the project, and
that's fantastic.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah,
mate, can I say, and you can see he's sort of somewhat melancholic, but can I say, Sajid, mate, this is the perfect way to write the final stage of a thesis. I know Josh agrees with me too. When you're actually reflecting on yourself, the limitations, the challenges, the worries, the restrictions, that is your conclusion, mate. And so the most problematic students we supervise are the most confident, because they go, I'm fantastic, there are no limitations. The moment you go, this was a problem, this was a problem, this was a problem, this was a problem, then I know a student is going to pass it easily.
Thank you.
Hang in there, brother, and
Thanks for your
please get,
support. Thank you.
oh, you're amazing, but please get well, mate. We need you well. And look, let's go to our other favourite human, the legendary Noor. Now, my darling, we talked about some of your writing. What did you write on during that 30 minutes, darling?
Oh, thank you, Tara. So I was doing my revision course, like your advice for previously on your digital hours. Yes. And then last night I received 2 publications, the recent publications that related to my research. And I found, but yeah, fortunately, there's still a niche, so I can fill the gap. Yes, oh, I love it. And I found some like key features that I can add to my proposal, of course. And then I read and rewritten with my fresh eye, like your advice before in your DOH class. And yes, anyway, I did it.
That's terrific. And so I think students get worried, oh, my significant original contribution to knowledge is tightening or people are publishing. Actually, it adds excitement, darling. It's like a hose. I think research is like a hose. So it adds a bit of pressure to your research, but it makes your thesis more propulsive and exciting because it's a field where there's movement and it's like whoosh. And that's
yes, Sarah. And when I read it and I said, oh, yes, I still can fill the gap. I have a novelty of my research. Yes, the gender issue still the hot issue in the small scale fisheries. Yes.
You are brilliant, my darling. We're so thrilled for you. You are so, love you. You are so inspirational, legendary. And let's go to our other inspirational human, the wonderful Maeve. Now, Maeve, what were you writing on, darling one? Sound.
I'm here. I have been doing that interesting part. It was mentioned earlier, that interesting part of writing, editing. So that's what I did in my 30 minutes plus, and I didn't realize I was late to the other session, so apologies for that. Has Darwin changed its timing? I thought it was
No, it's still 1976, Maeve. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about it.
As I write about 1975, that's even funnier.
I know. No, darling, that's great. Well done. And for a lot of colleagues, as we're moving through 2024, our Write Club may be best used for editing for an intensive 30 minutes. When we talk to Ruth, that might be the case. So thank you, Maeve. In fact, we might go to Queen Ruth now. Now, Ruth, how did you use that time? Because you sometimes use this for that intensive editing. What did you do, darling?
Well, today I was working on an abstract for a conference.
Here it is.
So that's what I was working on. But it's a little bit tricky because I haven't quite finished the results yet. So, but it's still useful, I think, to do it, to kind of see what it is that I'm going to present, so that will probably help me with the results later on.
Look at Will, Ruth, and they're always fun abstracts to write, aren't they, when you sort of squint a bit. So it's like, this is, I think this is what it's showing, and you just sort of, everything's crossed.
Well, it's also, I think this is what I'm going to want to talk about in 6 months' time, hopefully.
Yeah, look, I'll be dead in 6 months, Ruth. So look, I can't, the idea that you're so optimistic, see, I'm an old goth. The idea that you're so optimistic you're going to be able to speak in 6 months is unbelievable.
I hope I still agree with myself in 6 months.
Yeah, and see, because you're young and magnificent, you probably will. Because I have so many multiple personalities going on at this point, Ruth. I don't even agree with myself now. So 6 months' time, that's going to be. Ruth, you're amazing. Well done, you. Fantastic. And look, we'll talk with the wonderful Queen Mary. Poor Mary had to put up with me this week. So, Mary, how are you going, and what were you writing on, you superstar?
Well, I'd just like to thank you very much for talking to me earlier this week, Tara. It's very hard to find a generous academic, and you're a very generous academic, and thank you very much. I'm using Friday mornings to try and keep my fairly patchy reading progress going. So I look at what I read during the week, and generally, because I'm driving a lot, I'm listening to it. I use a listening app, And so on Fridays, I make notes about what I listen to during the week. And it was a really interesting book edited by Mohammed Adhikari, on civilian-driven violence and the genocide of Indigenous peoples in settler societies. It had some really good contributors. It was a great book, published in 2021.
Who's the publisher, Mary?
Routledge.
Routledge published it. Wow, that's interesting from them. I thought it might have been a Springer. It's a Routledge. Wow, fantastic. Oh, and so it's a good book. It's worth reading.
It's a very good book. It covers civilian-driven violence around the world, and it really gives you an overview of the patterns, so the similarity of patterns of settler society in colonial violence. Really highlights that. Just if you want to go through the whole book, and there's a really good chapter on visualize it, like explaining how settlers thought and how settlers normalized the violence, by Andrew Woolford. Chapter 8 on Indigenous boarding schools in New Mexico and Manitoba. It's a very good book.
Fascinating. Well, I tell you, you've changed our life. I could see Lorraine going, Mary, thrilled. Well done, you. And should we go to Queen Lorraine? So Lorraine's doing some very significant work at the moment. So Lorraine, what did you write on during that 30 minutes, my darling?
I am down a rabbit hole and I'm just looking at Steve Redhead's list of books, and there's heaps there about soccer and football gangs, and yes, so I'm in a warren at the moment. So I started researching all the names you gave me, and I didn't write very much, just some notes, but I'm like, oh, a book I need to buy, I need to read that.
And Lorraine, one other thing I'd say to you too, if you go to academia.edu and you look at Steve's list, he loaded up a free, very long document called the Hooligan Memoirs, which again was low popular culture, low lit. And I think it's been downloaded, Liam, what is it, about 150,000 times around the world. So that might be a free entree into that.
Yes, Thank you. It's coming from East London. Lots of ties there with West Ham United Football Club. Lots of the soccer hooliganism in the late 70s, the 80s. So I remember that very, very well. And how Thatcher came in and sort of stamped that out by, putting very 5-year minimum sentences for anything related. It's really fascinating, the whole structure of it. I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying how it was well organised, with the different classes, with inner city firms and under fives as a whole branch of organised violence. Just fascinating stuff. As I say, I don't condone it, but it's a really interesting thing with these, normal blue-collared workers and how they was all anyway.
That literature will help you a lot. And also, obviously, darling one, Hillsborough and the all-seater stadiums as well.
Yes.
So that is who knew that would be a thing? So Lorraine, that's amazing. You keep going, and we'll get the report back on that next week, you superstar. You start. And look, this is the moment we're waiting for. We've got the Susan time. The wonderful Susan L will start with. Now, Susan, you sort of change our lives every week. So what were you writing on this week?
Well, thank you. This week I wrote an email with the information. I'm trying to get a copy. I'm trying to get court records for this shooting that I've been working on, the shooting case. This is basically to tie up loose ends, to talk about the disposition of the case that I've been working on. So I just wrote an email to someone who agreed, to a fellow genealogist who agreed to go to the courthouse and make a copy of it for me in Arkansas.
You are fantastic. Can I say, Mary and I are so inspired by you in terms of your innovative data collection. The work that Mary's doing is just like, amazing. And she's having difficulty finding records and finding people to care about the records and the data set that she's finding. You are inspiring, Susan. You really are.
I'm happy to find a genealogist who's willing to do it for free.
Well, as they should. You are legendary, my darling. I'm absolutely thrilled. And look, from New York City, let's go to the legendary Jamaica and talk to our other favourite Susan. We can never have enough Susans. So, Susan, my darling, what were you writing on this week?
Yeah. Well, I was kind of thinking, what would I write on today? But then I realized I got an email. So I remember I applied to this climate action change and I got accepted. So today I got assigned the mentor for this program. So I thought, oh, well, maybe I should follow up on my mentor. So I didn't write the email. What I was doing was like figuring out, they've been giving us assignments. So I was figuring out how to expand the project. Because basically, as part of this thing, we're going to all the 8 scholars have to write a piece. And they're wanting us to focus on the ethics. And earlier today, I was thinking that wouldn't it be great to actually have some empirical data to inform the ethics? So I'm not sure if they're going to really agree with that, but anyway, so I had kind of wrote up a little draft of that, and then just now in the meeting, I was they had in the last session we had, we're talking about they had each person, they focused on each student's ethics question. So I was trying to write the background to explain my ethics question. So I was just really trying to think through my entire climate action change project and thinking through how am I actually going to get this done over the next few months. And I did some writing on it.
Susan,
So that's where I am.
That is amazing. Can I say, Susan, for God's sake, get the text out of that email and put that into the project itself. So just scoop up, cut and paste that and make sure you've preserved that so it's not just in an email. You are amazing, Susan. Phenomenal. And look, we'll go to the legendary human who inspires me every day and every week. So Damien, look, what were you writing on? Because we're reaching sort of the end point of your party as well. So where are we at, brother?
So I sent my chapter 6 off to supervisors yesterday, and before I start my conclusion, the argument kind of narrowed and became more precise as I wrote. So I've gone back to chapter 1 to kind of look at how I need to massage things to actually fit where my head got by the end. So I'm going to work through that over the next week or so and then do a draft conclusion, and then I will have a complete thesis. Wish me luck.
You won't need
a complete draft. There'll be a lot of work to do.
Can I say, what an exciting moment, Damien. It's been just such a privilege to walk with you through this. You are just you're a lovely human as much as a great researcher. So I'm so excited. And look, Damien, we're of course, we'll finish with the finisher, and my apologies, I didn't get round once more. I do try, but the legendary Dina will finish with, and of course, Dina, you might like to tell Damien and everyone where we're at on your drafting.
So this morning I was doing the declaration. It took me a wow moment because 6 months ago I didn't think I would finish this project. So it was so how do you call it? So one of my proudest moments to even get to this stage. And because I had some difficulties in my theory construction, I didn't get the correct theory that I wanted. It was like a wall that made me do excuses not to do this thesis. But then when the university said, no, you cannot have extension, you must finish, that was when I thought, okay, I must finish this thesis, however it takes. And that is when I tried so hard to construct the way that I think would fit best for the project. So I'm so glad that I am in this stage when I felt that I won't ever finish or get to type any declaration or acknowledgement. So I thank you very much, Tara, for being there. I was thinking, why did I give difficulty to myself? Because I was doing great in my professional work, and then I did this. Why did I even start this? And then I thought, it was actually because you were the dean of graduate studies, then I started to view your podcast, your videos, and I was so inspired on how you could explain detail by detail the very hard things into a very practical way of writing. So I'm very grateful for that. And what I am also excited is I contacted the Ministry of Social Affairs. They have been changing the new ministers because there was a lot of problems. So I thought that this new team that I didn't know would not be interested in my research. And because you said in the comments, you have to get the data from Minister of Social Affairs now. That's why I contact them. And then they said, we would want to see your final, your recommendation to us. Would you want to do a presentation on Wednesday? So I thought, oh my God, it just gets better and better. So because I think I don't want this to only be the book in the shelf kind of thing, because throughout my professional career, we had a lot of research, we had a lot of recommendation studies, but it wasn't conveyed well to the policymakers. So I think that this is what impacts me the most, the opportunity to have the research be taken by the people that needs to make the changes. So I'm very, very excited, also nervous. It's all in one, and also stressful. I've been working until 2 a.m. every day with the weekend, so everything is mixed, but I'm so happy. Thank you so much.
We love you, Dina, and Dina is within pretty well her final week. We think it's about 8 days to go, and Dina will submit. Now, we must not get emotional. So I'm sobbing my guts out here. All of us that have been on this journey with Dina, I mean, look at Mary. Mary's face is exactly how I feel. This is a triumph, and it's been a privilege to walk with this remarkable researcher who will change the world. So what a wonderful place to finish. We've probably got our last engagement with the wonderful Dina next week as she finishes. So colleagues, I thank you for this hour of power. I thank you for the 2 hours. Those of you that have spent 2 hours with us all, have a lovely weekend. Big love to you all. Have a lovely weekend and see you next Friday. Take care, team. You are magnificent. Bye-bye.